I think of all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKakodash.
God bless to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the brethren across the four corners of the earth, pushing the gospel in sincere and truth, doing everything that they could do to make the calling and election sure, knowing that our salvation is nearer than we think. You know, these some brothers here from Trinidad GMS camp are part of, you know, Trinidad GMS camp, one of them, and we just outside here to put in our reasonable service. And beautiful things happening on the face of the earth, and you know, it couldn't be a better time for us, knowing that the Most High stirring up the battles.
Things are moving fast. Prophecies coming in, and you know, World War III coming in. You know, but it's not, as the scripture said, it's not as yet. Get out too much. It's not yet. What's going on is wars and rumors and wars. Because that is a rumor. Because really and truly, that war is not, when you look at it, it's not really real. It's not really real too. They're stirring up the whole scene. Because I watch some videos, but it's just the media again with the propaganda machine working again.
Right. This is book of Matthew chapter 24, starting from verse 7.
Right.
For nation shall rise against nation.
Right, that is a nation rises against another nation. And it's the same nation that
Prophecy fulfilled. Hey, a check for prophecy. Check off the checkbox for prophecy.
One prophecy closer.
Yeah.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famine and pestilences.
Yeah, well, actually, it's on the way because.
On the way, right on the verge, right there. Because all the prophecies they kind of
culminate.
With each other.
And that's it, because the apostles, they always teach, but there's a sequence in which the prophecy is going to be fulfilled. Right. So, as you just say, it's not a real war, it's a proxy war, right?
So that is rumors and war. Wars and rumors.
But what this war is doing is gonna bring in the famine, it's gonna bring in the pestilence, it's gonna bring in the economic collapse. Right. No, well, no, the MOTB. Well, yeah, ultimately.
This is what it's really about. The media showing you all these things, and that will do what? It's going to bring about the collapse of the economy. And yes, you will see. Now, with that collapse now, you will see famine coming in. And all the prophecies are just on a roll. You know? It's like that, just trip it and it's a roll.
We got a famine in the world long time ago. They don't want to make people aware of that. All the storms, the snowstorms, right? That destroy crops that will take years to grow back.
The climate,
fires and all these things destroying.
What they blame on climate control, climate change on is really the Lord what making the earth barren, because the scripture say when the Lord gave us a way to manage the earth. When you look at the word economy, eco is earth and economy is managed, right? So the Lord gave the way to manage the earth via what the scripture. You have to farm the land for 6 years, and on the 7th year you go on to the next land. That's what nomadic farming, right? But Esau doesn't do that. So guess what? That is Isaiah 24 you were speaking about before the camera started to roll. Right? You see all the brothers just coming in? Yeah. I was just telling you that. That's how the spreaders move. Right. Yeah, because go to the Isaiah 24 really quick, Babu Kosha.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 24.
Verse 4, I think it is.
From verse 4.
We will go back to the verse 1 after you finish the Matthew.
And here what it says here. Right, Isaiah chapter 24 verse 4. And it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away.
Yeah.
The world languisheth and fadeth away.
Yeah, so Pops was saying that, you know, the famine here a long time. Right? We know locally that we have the locusts in south and central. Right? Why farmers have to go and buy salts? Well, you know the whole thing. All the salts, the potassium and all this and calcium. You have to actually buy the minerals to put it into your crops. Whereas you're supposed to get the minerals naturally from the earth. But Esau have Esau, right, with the mismanagement of the earth, Because what the scriptures, what the Bible says, when they do these things, when they kept the way to manage the earth will yield forth her fruit. But the earth is not yielding forth the fruit because what? Ultimately, the Lord is not letting it happen. Right? The minerals not coming up because what? The planet overworked. It overfarmed. Yeah, it need the land Sabbath. You know? There's no land Sabbath being kept. So the planet not getting to rest. So we read it over again, Isaiah 24 verse 4.
Back in Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24 verse 4. It says, the earth mourneth and feedeth away. The world languisheth and feedeth away.
The earth mourneth and what?
Languish the outside back. The earth mourneth and feedeth away. The world languisheth and feedeth away.
Can the world languisheth and feedeth away?
The spirit, all the activities on the earth, get it to fade away.
Yeah, the scripture in 1 John say what? Love not the world, nor the things thereof, because all that is in the world is lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh. So all that going to perish, all that fading away, all that going to perish. Right? So that's why you're actually seeing the spirit of this world. Because why? Going back to what the 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that cometh after. Right? So Esau is the ruler at the end. He's our fourth beast. You see? You can go back to Matthew 24 for the brother.
Back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 7 again. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
Right, diverse, you know, strode. Yeah, we had temperatures like 7 degrees down here the other day. Places like Santa Cruz, Paramin, right? Just around late January, right? We had 7 degrees. You know, they were seeing snow. They might be in like sleet. I don't know. It's like people were seeing like little ice crystals being formed, right? Hey, we had hail in Trinidad. Think about it. We had hail in Trinidad. One of the hottest. Yeah, about 2 or 3 years, and we had yeah, they had hail in Aruka. They had hail. We had a feast. We had we was keeping a new moon feast in the country. And in Aruka had a tornado. Dabadi had a tornado. Dabadi and Piaco had the hail fall. Right? And this recent, as the ark said, it had hail. Hail is ice. Yeah. Can't.
I got it on me. If I take it off, we were picking up the ball.
Yeah, in the yard, in the front yard. Yeah. The people who was in Piaco Airport, Piaco International Airport was picking up the hail. Hey, Shalom, Akia, ya Bashim Shai Bashim Kakadash Bakata. Yeah.
The prophecy that found, we just need to pay attention and watch the news and see the things that are taking place. Not the mainstream, but sometimes what's behind the scenes of the mainstream, and you see certain things taking place, and you would know, hey, look, that in the scripture, so you know the prophecies rolling over.
Mainstream media, what it does, what mainstream media, it work on your psyche, is a psyop. Yeah, they make the people antsy, they make them anxious and nervous. But that's all good because the Lord say, let the Lord be a strength and let him be a trust. These people don't trust in the Lord. You have people who religiously get up in the morning, go and buy papers and a cigarette and a coke and sit down and read every day and they still don't know nothing what's going on.
They like robots to the system. They like robots to the system. Whenever the media feed them, that's where they take it. Like my uncle of mine, he's a media hawk. He goes off on what the media say. Nothing else don't matter. You try to tell him, hey, that is not real. That is in Revelation, that is the magic that they work. They work and they deceive the people. You get that after.
Hey, you yourself didn't pop up a video where I had a baby and it looked like a waterfall was behind and the baby was by the railing. And what behind, what they actually do, it was the baby was walking on a normal pavement, like right here, and just holding on to that railing right there. But what they do, they use the CGI and put a waterfall and a river behind it.
Like this piece here, they cut out this piece and they make it look like it going straight down and a waterfall right there and the child walking here and hold on to the rail. So now there's looking like parents right there and the child walking.
And videotaping the child, yeah.
Waterfall. So, you know, people just go off and when they see these things, they just
but they show you, they break it down in the video and they show you that it's not real.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you get when you're watching this mainstream. Because mainstream, hey, the elites own the mainstream station. Right?
It's like this. A place getting robbed and people running. And you will see that people running, but cameras now, they will show you after that people running through whatever going on, and that from. And then they will say, look at it. You know what I mean? He's a magician. He's well known as a magician too. A master magician.
A cunning hunter.
Yeah.
If I could say, right? Like what going on with Qasem Soleimani from Iran.
Could they kill?
Yeah. You know some two the thing where I think it's called somebody that put in the group. Somebody put in with the woman and the two men debating. And the men and them from America was saying it's not right to go in and invade somebody's country and kill. What did America do? In the beginning of the year?
You see what they do, right? What they do, right? Is they work on the people, the emotions of the people. They will come out and they will say, look at this, look at that, look at what they're doing, that is wicked. They oppressing these people. So what you do?
And they're showing you people dying,
yeah,
and how much people dead.
Yeah,
but when the bomb Soleimani, all the soldiers and them dead, them had children too.
Yeah,
them had families, Qasem Soleimani's family was crying. So
see,
what make America different?
You see, they'll come now with the camera and they'll show people the jargon and
Russia bad. That like the meme with the three American or the three America and two other nations, England and I think it was France, stand up and set up bodies, and underneath the bodies was all the times that they attack these different nations. And now they blood on they showing blood on their hands dripping with blood. Right? But now they stand up on Russia and point at Russia. Russia bad. Russia is a bad man. They're bad.
So now people will get what I'm from. Why never do the people this thing? Why never do them that? You know?
Hey.
Russia really do that thing.
Overall, Esau went in, they went into Jerusalem, they sacked the temple, they run us out, right, 70, then they came back from the west coast and the interiors of Africa. What they did? Right, they took us and they put us into into a chapter hardcore slavery. Right? No, forget about that. Forget about that.
Forget about that. Forget about you invade a country and kill 100 million native. They ain't talk about that. You know? But they will talk about Russia. You yourself is wicked as hell. Why should anybody listen to you?
Can't.
Right? But why do you listen to the people? Because you're working on the people, the emotions of
psyops.
Right. That's how they put embargoes on people.
Sanctions.
The people have done anything about through the media, they show you something. And again, all the people worked up. Now everybody against you, pointing at you. You know?
All the presidents, they know what's going on in Russia.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
They're not ignorant.
All the heads are state.
Yeah, I want to finish off the set. The match after.
What?
The book of Psalms chapter 64 and verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Because why? The scripture said that the inward thought is that the house shall endure forever. So ultimately, they're trying to bring down the system where you still have rights, right? Where they still have opportunity, right? But guess what? In the new or NWO, New World Order, they want to have total control. The scripture said that he want to be as God, sitting in the seat of God, as though he is God, right? That's what he wants to accomplish, but the Lord is not going to have that. He also wants to what? Eradicate Israel from being a nation, a people calling upon their God. Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to call on their God.
Yeah. He wants to what? He wants to what? Try to circumvent the fact that he gave up his birthright. Right? Being a wicked, unappreciative, unthankful son. Right? Go ahead.
Continuing, it says, verse 3, it says, who wet their tongue like a sword?
And it said what? Hide me from what? The secret counsel of the wicked. So Pop said what? He said, all the nations know. All the leaders know. Yes, they know. Rowley know. Right? What do you think Maduro was saying in the article? Maduro was saying that hey, the oppressiveness of America and the slander of America. Right? He was complaining. Yeah, because he initiated on his own people. He turned on his people and said, yo, hey, it's not mandatory, but guess what? When they come a certain date, you need to be so. You're in public service, you're in the military. That is using fright and scare tactics. And you show you that, you know, they show you that in that movie Monsters Inc., that cartoon Monsters Inc. They use fear. They use fear.
Fear is a useful tool.
Yeah, it's a tool, and that's what they use. They have devils from the foundation. They had like men like Henry Kissinger, right? He was a counsel to the national security in the US. He set up eugenics, and he also set up the military system, then more or less, right? He called military men dumb. Oh snap! I don't know if you can pull up that. Do you have internet app? Yeah, pull up the statement with Henry Kissinger and military men, right? But he's also responsible for eugenics and genocide, right? So these devils, they ultimately want to eradicate Israel and establish a extended kingdom of their own, where they are as God, where they are inside of you, being able to manipulate your thoughts, know everything, know your whereabouts, know everything about you, and control. What up?
Continuing, it says, who wet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and fear not.
Yeah, bitter words, right?
These people, they would never come to the realization that the so-called white man is the enemy, and they will continue scoffing at us and saying, look them say the white man is the devil, but without understanding. We're not calling him the devil just like that for no reason. The word devil means deceiver, that this is why we call him a devil. And all the other nations know he's a devil. You understand? He's deceiving the whole world. Have the people going off. You know what I'm glad about? Putin came out and said something about African people. Knowing who we talking about, we know who we talking about, so-called black people. He said Africa is a place only to bury Africa. They would always stick to the slave master. They was never, but he only doing that because he couldn't call him out. It's the devil calling out the devil.
Huh.
So he know because the devil called, because one devil call out another devil, what he do now? He sell them out.
Huh.
I get it. But Negroes, they don't get it.
Go wide. Carry it wide. Let's spread it out. I really don't much. Yeah, that's me. You
understand? No matter how much it is, so much.
Popeye.
Popeye. No matter how much you try to show Negroes, Latinos, that the true enemy is the so-called white man.
Yeah.
That is the one that have them in slavery.
Yeah.
Like I'm just. Yet still, they stick on to the slave master.
I just said what? He, in his precept, he used the words, bitter words. Right? They get eaten all those right through. I didn't realize what's going on. You understand? Because what? The Prime Minister tell you what? The Prime Minister tell you what? All they need to start up, plan what to eat. Right? They provided grants now, or they provided hampers now, but they come around with the ministers and they're giving them provisions, right? Wrong provision and blah blah blah. But they eating ham, lamb and jam. Under all the hardships, under all the austere measures. Did any one of their salaries went down? No. They didn't sacrifice, they didn't band their belly, they didn't tighten up, they didn't They didn't loosen their belt for the greater God of all the people.
Correct.
They remain the same. You have the statement. You have the,
Yeah. This is Henry Kissinger statement. Military men are dumb, stupid animals
woo!
to be used as pawns for foreign policy. Henry Kissinger.
Right.
Kissinger has denied saying it. And then they're going that whole long.
They always do that. They say,
that is because at this year there was a term called plausible deniability. I looked that up as well. Plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of or responsibility for any damnable actions committed by members of their organizational hierarchy.
Same thing what America do. The reporters and the money thing with that in the group. Because when the woman was stating that how America put the sanctions on the man in and was intruded and back in 1997, right? If I'm wrong, or 95 somebody, which is 25 years ago, they made a deal that NATO will not infringe and coming close out to surround Ukraine. They made that deal. So and during the years, every year, they said there was teasing the dog, they call him, they refer to Russia as the dog, and they say, well, NATO was doing things to tease the dog, and eventually, unlike America, the dog started bite. It was only barking. So when you tease the dog, and the dog started bite now, that's what you want to say. So Russia supposed to just sit down and allow them, circle them and overthrow them. So they must take a stand.
yeah, because as them devils do, which it's all prophecy, right? They break all covenants that they had. Now what she's also pointing out that it wasn't written. The covenant that they had wasn't written, because going back, we know, and Daddy will know, the words are wrong for the time of the fall of the Berlin Wall. I used to watch it. I watched it on CNN. They used to have East Germany and West Germany, right? With that whole separation, I think the agreement was that what? They're not going to build any, they're not going to have any bases or anything close to Russia, or close to the former USSR, Russia, right? And they break that covenant. You understand? Because, as you said, they're slowly infringing and setting up the bases, the missile defense system, right? And what? NATO was created to what? To defend Europe against Russia, to defend Europe against the former USSR. But they can't fight prophecy. You cannot fight prophecy at the end of the day. You gotta preach that back.
Back here, this is the book of Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 17. It says, he that passeth by and meddleth with strife belongeth not to him. It's like one that taketh a dog by the ears. When you touch a dog by the ears, you go bite. You know?
But look how much people in America hurt.
Everybody.
Someone looked up weird, but how much war America wage on people for no reason over the years. The wage war on the so-called Negroes in the States for years.
So who's you now to come and talk about this one
bad
advantage in this one?
Oh, this one bad.
This one bad. No, we're looking at you.
Hypocrisy.
That is a tactic to catch the people.
Hey,
take the eyes off of you. You is the wicked one.
So like about within last 3 to 5 years, right? Russia had a little uprising with the cops, because most of them nations, because they are their own people. If you understand what I say, like Moab and them will have a police that don't really militarize. They will use batons, right? They might use batons. They might not even use tasers, right? Because they fight their own people. They police their own people, right? Russia and the public. The Russian public had a little beef, whatever, and the Russian cops like warn them a little bit now, and America came out and said, well, blah blah blah. Whatever they say, it was like blah blah blah. Russia say, yo, they can talk to me. Look how much he has only abusing blacks. Look how much he has only abusing blacks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They actually now the devil now sort of provoke the devil. So he sort of expose that devil.
A nation divided against itself, shall it stand?
You see how you do look how you do the children of Israel. And that basically what went on with this man, what's his name, who was killing Jews. Hitler sort of exposed them. Hitler say all they had the children of Israel
And that's the worst thing all they could be doing. Right? It's a bunch of, hey, what the scripture call them? The scripture call them a nation of hypocrites.
And if I can say this real quick, because the brother mentioned hypocrites, and the scripture has the congregation of hypocrites shall be burned.
It's slack, eh? You know, people don't pay attention. They start to pay attention to the nuke signs.
That's why.
It's in the air.
The spirit in the air.
Yeah.
Or they could pick up a nuke here. Understand? A
spiritual nuke.
Yeah.
That's why it's going to be burned.
Yeah.
Because of the hypocrisy.
Right.
The article came out recently with Russia pertaining to them using vacuum bombs.
You see, spread. Everybody watching them USSR. Yeah, Russia go put a bomb in all their ass.
And who been telling you all?
We've been telling you all.
Great Millstone been telling you. Not even all the Hebrew Israelites.
Who
Great
outside here
Millstone.
on the street talking about these things for years?
Yeah.
We've been talking, now it's here.
The Lord says he's going to establish his mountain upon the mountain of Esau and Edom, right? This is Job 15 and 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery.
Because what happened? We're going to start a fight amongst each other.
Hey, all of them is getting paid to do good. What? You should talk about the merchants, all that in Revelation 18.
Right.
All of them were confederate to make what? Shalom, Zakwan, Yabashim Yashai Bashim Kakodash Rapta.
Shalom.
Zakwan Yashua. Right? Yeah, they were getting paid, right? They were getting paid. They were all profiting from our downfall as a nation, as a people, right? Because we are the greatest consumers on the planet, right? We the majority and the heathen and the minority, right? It says, Job 15 and 35, they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepare deceit.
That's what's going on. Yeah, the devil against the devil, that's all. So why should you get emotional over them? I talk about, oh look what, a man called the radio this morning and talking about why people can't live in peace. But because they want to rule the world. You're the honest one that don't want to rule the world. Everybody wants to be the children of Israel and rule the world. Why do you think this war is going on for?
Except for Jacob.
The war is going on because the children of Israel not ruling the earth. That is why it have war on the earth. The rightful rulers of the earth not ruling the earth. That is why it have this war. And you out here still you ain't know what the hell going on. What do you think all that bacchanal is all about? It all comes down to being the children of the Lord. They know the promises was given, so but they want to take the promises by force. No, the Lord said He going to put them in power. You try to carnally put yourself to rule the world. Somebody has to rule the world. Somebody has to be on top. Somebody has to be below.
The book of Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat.
God, a servant when he reigneth, that is as I say, disquieted.
Disquiet, no peace.
No peace. That is why it has war. That is the whole main reason why all this is taking place, is because the people who are supposed to be ruling the earth, not ruling.
And verse 5 it says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is proud.
He's a proud man.
He's a proud man. Neither keep it at home. Who enlarge his desire.
He doesn't keep his foot in his country. He is all over, making mischief.
Supposed to be monks here.
That's where you're supposed to be, in a cave. In monks here. But instead, what you're doing? Mischief all over the earth. Dropping bombs all over the earth.
Always in people's business.
Always in people's business. You're bullying the people. Right?
They have missiles in Venezuela,
yeah, they come out
days ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days ago. About 2 sophisticated missiles. Right in Venezuela.
Right in Venezuela. Hey, Russia right below the nose them watching them. And they don't know. Russia right there. America, the best thing for these children, I don't know what they're wishing for is for America that clearly run when America come and bring the big plane. to save them. Because if these people gang up with these Venezuelans and them, I tell you, they're going to run this island right here with foreign soldiers. Yeah. They're going to take over this because this island here is part of the NATO. You know?
Yeah, can't. Still like Trinidad is part of the OACS, exactly. Organization of the American States. Venezuela is part of what? Latin America. Right?
People walking around and don't even know that.
Right? They don't, Jake down here don't know what the hell going on.
All they know about Jesus.
All they know about is carnival. Yeah, carnival. Today's what? Today's Thursday. Right? So they're saying today about the whole thing is now, they want to hear when COVID come back. Because before that was what? Everything was carnival.
Yeah, COVID go come back now.
Which show you how dumb they is because what? They had the elite, the Syrian, and they had a big party in the water park. Right? No COVID restriction. The Minister of Health come out in the news last night and said, no, take it up to the police. But they just come out for who they want to come out for. They can have the thing, but they make them money. Right? Imagine, you can go to the beach under lockdown, but you cannot go to the water park.
You understand? These laws were made for you what percentage, I don't even know the percentage these people is.
You understand? You understand? Hey.
You people out here, those laws were made for you.
Going back, as I was saying, a couple of years ago, when deceased Howard, myself and Kwara was doing the video, we went to Tobago to do videos. What happened in the morning when I came out and what? And I just see the submarine just come up out of the water and the ship. They reported numerous articles about the ship, but they never the Russian ship, but they never reported submarines. Right? Because what? Hey, Russia doing this work. And hey, Trinidad will just be a collateral damage. Right? These Jake out here, they're walking in darkness, they're walking asleep.
And if the guy radio, you talk about why it should be war, because you don't understand what war is good. Yeah. That war come about, it can bring the end of this world.
That's right.
And it can bring about your world. But you don't want that.
Beginning of the next.
Yeah,
follow it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey.
I have something really quick. I know you're back more too. This is Daniel chapter 4. Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17.
Right.
This matters by decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men,
right,
and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men.
God.
Right? What?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, and verse 4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hands of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable to rule.
That's the exact precept.
That's why he bringing up his men to do.
Right.
He bringing up his men right now to rule the earth. Right? If Jake don't want to wake up and learn how to rule
rulership mentality.
Get that rulership mentality. Your rulership coming in just now. This is what we're doing here.
So like, let me just answer that real quick, because the Lord said to the elect, he said, if you be faithful in this little, you'll be able to rule over many. Right? So hey, even the Israelite camps out here, they're not in that mentality.
No.
They're not about getting right and getting the understanding of rulership. Standing up on their 2 feet, being men.
No, it's that time. No, it's that time to get your spirit right to rule.
That's right.
No, it's not the time to sing no blasted song.
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya. The Lord showing how to make a proper judgment, because things going on.
Yeah.
And it need a proper judge to judge it in righteousness.
Look. As you say that, you know what strike my mind? I don't know how much of you always following on the case with the 4 or 5 divers that get sucked into the
park. A little bit.
When the father of one of the divers went to identify the body, he started to say, I love everybody, and everybody there's his spirit. He started to say, I love everybody. You understand? But everybody has to understand that with all this malice and thing, your day will come too, and judgment, whatever. You understand? But it goes to show your overall underlying mentality, because he in anguish there. He said that's what he's bringing out. Now guess what? The company, the oil company, they choose right the way he's supposed to manage the thing over humanity and life. You understand? No, they have the whole science about the equalization of the pipe and sucking in and plugging and blah 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 blah. Huh?
This is called Delta P.
Delta P, right? They have all that too. But they will always choose the money and less collateral damage. Because what they was also breaking down that if you are sending more divers, you'll have more debt. You understand?
I can bet right now, no money, 1 hour.
Terror on them.
Yeah, terror.
You spread that debt.
Spread that debt on them.
And guess what? I actually read the article about 2 days ago. And in the article was saying that the one who survived, his name was Christopher Ramulal. Christopher Ramulal, he said that when he was in the pipe with the rest of divers, he said, let's pray to Jesus, he will save us. Like we told him, I actually have the article right here.
So you cannot talk on the water?
Well, it was in like a pocket inside the pipe, and they was sharing oxygen, and they could have breathed and whatnot. Okay. What is going during the Delta P process, where it's for the suction.
Before the equalization,
there's air at the top.
Alright.
So that's what happened.
Oh no, they were saying that they was knocking on the pipe from the inside.
They were knocking, they was also praying to Jesus.
So we're saying that I had the hand of Jesus.
He said what Christopher survived, right? A Delta P event. It's the title of the paragraph here in the newspaper. It says Christopher asked the people with him to pray to Jesus that we will come out, that everybody, we will get out of it. And those men were praying out loud. Started shouting, I can just imagine.
Elijah and the 400 prophets of Baal.
That's right. It says,
it's like we see it happening when we had there.
What are you doing? Go on a mission now. Go on a journey. Go on and see.
Hey, I bet he can tell you that he was in hell. I bet he can tell you he was in hell.
At that very moment.
It says he told his brother that the men, some of whom were seriously injured by the force of the suction, there was a 36-inch pipe. You understand? So just imagine when that suction came, how men might curl up and go and hit their head, some might hit their foot and break the foot. They was badly injured inside there. And who did that? The Most High Yahweh. Alright? It says he told his brother that the men, some of whom were seriously injured by the force of the suction, were alive in the darkness of the pipeline, and that they breathed from air pockets and shared air from the oxygen tanks to stay alive, while banging on the inside of the pipe to attract attention.
Yeah, the angels say, and not today, not today, today is your day. The angel take off 4 of them one time.
When they finish out,
back up, the back of the elect escaping the judgment. Psalm 124 and verse 7 to 8.
I think one person escaped.
Yeah, one person escaped.
Well, see, he the report was wrong.
Oh, right.
And that is what the Most High does do. When you check, going back into the story of Job, when all the events was taking place, when Job was losing and stuff, it had always had somebody to come and tell the story. Because this one Elamite might think to himself that, hey, Jesus saved him out of that situation. But you don't know that how the Most High Yahweh works.
Yeah,
he does always leave one to tell the story.
He's a Presbyterian, yeah.
Hey, just like it's Sparta, they would be the whole team and go back and tell them what we did. Leave them with a story to tell. Tell them how devious and what we did to your army. Right?
Like this show I was watching, the name of it is on Netflix, a series actually. The name of it is Cursed. Alright, it involves some witches and some warlocks and some village people as well, and one of the and Christians as well, dressed in red robes and whatnot, passing around. They were actually nailing it to a cross and burning it. But what happened? They had like a special secret weapon, which was one of their men that was dressed in black. When he come for you, you don't know it's all. He have no mercy. He bringing it to the cross. He's slicing it up. But what he did was, he held a little boy, and while he was going through the village killing people, he had the little boy with him from the same villagers.
To see.
You understand this? And then you let him go. And then he let the little boy go. And when the little boy was shaking, he let him go. He said, yeah, go and tell them what you saw and tell them I'm coming.
I have it. This is Job chapter 1 and verse 13. And there was a day when the sons of his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. There came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding besides them, and the Sabeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and only I am escaped.
Only I am escaped.
And only I, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
To tell thee. The Most High, because the Most High was doing what to do. He was trying it. Because he removed the hedge, as Satan said, if you remove the hedge, you go curse you. So the Most High he was the one orchestrating that whole scenario, causing these oxen to be slayed, all the different events with the Sabians coming in, but he always left what a survivor to come and bring the story to the fort. But
verse 16, and while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said,
another one come down.
The fire is gone, the fire of power is fallen from heaven and had burnt up the sheep, and the servants are consumed. And the sheep and the servants are and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped to tell thee.
So now, these men who escaped, was it that because they knew Jesus they escaped? No. Because that's what the Most High did. The Most High allowed them to escape to give that report. And that's the same thing that happened to Christopher Ramulal. Because these dumb Christians, look what they're going to do. I'm certain. Christopher Ramulal is going to be invited to one of these churches to give that testimony, to try to spread the Christianity, you know, like Jesus Christ.
Like last week Thursday, the Christian caravan that was across the road, that was getting us a fight. This is Exodus 5. Yeah, sick, charm them out of their money.
I'm happy they ain't you. They say, wait, but Jesus make you escape. So why didn't make the other 4 escape too?
Remember this girl? Well, remember this Indian girl, she was across there, I think it was in India. Something Usala, something so her name was. She was in India and she was trying to go to school. They were fighting against the women going to school. And they bought some shots and she couldn't. Right? And then she ended up with the hospital in England or something, as a refugee. And then they make she a whole thing now where she's trying to come around the world. She ended up coming to Trinidad. Umlala, some something so yeah. She's a big speaker. Yeah, she's a big speaker. There's maximize on these different things. There's cashing. That's like the lot too. Yeah, you will speak with Jesus. Exodus 5 and 3. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. This is Deuteronomy Chapter Almighty, this is Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he. There is no God with me. I kill and I make alive.
No Jesus with it. Yeah? I kill, you see, I kill.
So like, yeah.
It has nowhere you can look the whole scripture, nowhere did you ever kill anybody.
Hey, it's amazing how the Lord has worked, because I was driving this weekend with my son's mom, and we in traffic, and we pull up on the side of our puja store. And when you look at the puja store, all the gods, all the idols. I guess with the bottom right corner, JESUS. Yeah, all of them for sale, all the gods for sale, and they can buy a god.
And guess what? Those were Elamites. So why did they call on the Elamite gods? Shiva and
Lakshmi.
They denounce their gods. And going to the god of the main religion in the world. Like what it is.
It says, see now that even I, and the Lord said we will laugh at your calamity. Your fear coming, right?
Like they say how weak these heathens are. You just not supposed to be like these heathens. These heathens weak. They don't even believe in the false gods. But you trying to follow them.
They tell you that you going on. They tell you that your gods have no power. So like, go ahead.
And the event that took place, I believe it was late last year, where they was throwing away the idols and whatnot.
Who's the king that was kicking Esau off of the cliff? Ahijah. Ahijah, I think his name was. He was kicking, if you can get his story, because he was kicking them off. He was killing Edomites. And then when he done, he went back and served the idols.
God, if I may say on as well on that topic, because I woke him with the Elamites, we talking about Elam. And went to break down a shed, and the Elamite son. So now the Elamite warring with his brother for some big piece of land. Right? So the warring now, and now I witnessed a piece of sorcery happen. Now the Elamite, when we go and start to break down the shed, he come outside and start to play some music, usually like the incense and thing. So the son now mash a nail first. It is down there now. If you see a little piece of wood in there, you know, with 2 nails sticking out, piece of wood, that wood could not come down there just so. The wood come down and bore. You burn foot. Blood spraying out, I talking about it. As that happening, music done and he gone inside. So when the father come now, I'm telling the father soon, he had to go back to collect the galvanize. 2 days now and he can't go back here now. Next thing I go to collect the galvanize and something happened to me too. I said, nah man. I said, nah, let me up there. That's showing you that they get frightened. They don't have no belief in them. To begin with.
They believe in you more than anything. This is finishing off Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
Yeah, when the Most High hold on to you, nobody can help you. You can't escape. Is it for you? Yeah.
So I was explaining to one of them at one by now. I say, I said in scriptures, can a man make a god unto himself? Right? That can't happen. Right? I say, if he make that idol and you only that god and bowing down to it, to get his chop off, that's supposed to bow down to him. So you know that makes sense.
It says verse 40, for I lift up my hand to the heaven and say, live forever. If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance on my enemies and I will reward them that hate me. No, in Jeremiah 49, right, Jeremiah put curses upon Elam. Right? That was 5 Elam. Right? One survived to, as the asked say, to what? To send the message, to tell the story, to bring back the word to the prophets, and we can make mockery of you all now. That's right. Right? Because all you're living in confusion. Those serving idols, you're born up, that's why I said about Presbyterian completely Elam, let's leave the idols and go to Presbyterian church. You understand? It says, this is Psalms chapter 19, and this is how we know that this is the God power of Israel, and the God of this Bible is the one that killed them.
That's right.
Right? And the one that had Jacob living and Israel living in this time. Right? But I say living because what? This is called the valley of the dry bones. This is the valley of the shadow of death. Who live in the men that stand upon their feet? According to what? The same Ezekiel. Right? So the serpent, right? Prophesied to them. And what he saw, you see the bones rise up and the flesh and the sinews come unto them. Right? That's the prophets across the 4 corners of the planet earth and the believers, men, women, and children. Alright? This is Psalms 19 and verse 16. Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executed, which the wicked is snared in the work of his own hand. They go and say, la. Yeah. So Yahweh is a power of judgment. Hey, I can get out real quick.
The snared in the work of their own hands going into what even the nukes. Because he say he created the smiths and that is them. The nuclear physicists and these engineers, so like the Edomites that the Most High using, like the Germans, they were the one, the Temanites, they were the one mainly involved in creating what? The bombs. The bombs, yeah. You understand? Main scientists of the earth, and the Most High is going to cause them to create, and he is causing them to create nukes that is going to be to their destruction.
And what he's going to do is gather all of them in the valley of Jehoshaphat and burn all of them.
The Most High's judgment, he's known by the judgment which he shoots. And by the scripture refers to him as the God that answered by fire. The God that answered by fire, the Most High, even, and Apostle Taha even said this. He said if you want to know how the presence of the Most High go feel on the earth, like when them nukes it, that is it. That is how we go feel if the Most High was to come here.
Yeah. This is
a consuming fire.
Baba Kosha. Hey, I love you about Shimon Shai. Who don't love you about Shimon Shai? That's like a Christian. Who don't love you about Shimon Shai? Yeah, so this just last night. It says
they don't believe in they don't understand the beautiful works.
This is Exodus chapter 19 verse 19. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and power answered him by a voice. And the Lord came down among Sinai on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called up Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go down and charge the people lest they break through unto the Lord, and many of them perish. Is it here, boy? Yeah, because basically they talk about Selak. Right. I'll go up a little higher. Verse 15. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass, verse 16, on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceedingly loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with power, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in a fire, in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. So yeah, so the Lord comes down and says, he's a consuming fire. That's right.
That's it. I don't mention it. I don't mention the collapse. That when the Lord, he skipped us and the Lord touched on the melody mountain. The presence of the Lord, the glory of Yahweh, consuming fire.
That's right. That's why it's saying Isaiah, behold, the Lord coming with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. And when the Lord's ultimate judgment is fire. The scripture talks about his wrath without mixture in the cup of his indignation. That is fire. That is in the form of these ICBM missiles, which the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was a foreshadowing to that. That destruction to come.
So I'm going to plug in real quick. Book of Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 29. For our power is a consuming fire.
Do that again.
Book of Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 29. For our power is a consuming fire.
So when them nuclear missiles are ultimately shot, alright, and nations are destroyed, as John saw it, a sea of glass mingled with fire. Who did that? Yahweh. Right. Not Satan. The Most High is the one going to do that. He's the one going to create that lake of fire. Alright, that death and hell is going to be burnt in. This world, everything that Esau has set up is going to be burnt. The heaven shall pass away with a great noise, going into the nuclear destruction which the Lord is bringing, because it's prophesied. And once it's prophesied, the words of the Heavenly Father wouldn't return to him void. He's the one that purposed it.
Concerning the matters that took place with the Edomites, and concerning to what will take place on the presence from the Heavenly Father on the earth. This is Psalms chapter 149 and verse 5. It says, Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praise of Yahweh shall be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen.
And guess what? I ain't talking about now. Alright, because some idiots might go into that scripture and try to break it down. Well, the modern day sword is the gun, so we see scripture say we have our swords in the hand. That is not for now. Alright, the swords that we have in our hands is this word. That is the sword we have in right now. The sword of the Spirit, which is the words of the Heavenly Father. When this is going to be fulfilled, as pertaining to Isaiah the 24th chapter, is after the earth reels to and fro like a drunkard, where the Lord is going to give that command to gather these elites, the high ones that are on high, and gather them as prisoners. That's what this is going into. Slavery that Esau is going to go through after the World War, War destruction. Go ahead, finish on.
It says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people.
And all the heathen, not just Esau. As Obadiah, I believe Obadiah 1 and verse 15. The day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. As they have drunk upon his holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink what? Continually. They're going to be servants of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 60 verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Shall perish.
Shall perish. If you're trying to show rebellion in the kingdom to come, you're gonna die. Alright? We ain't playing around. The scripture says we're gonna rule over them with a rod of iron. And this is what we focus on. We focus on trying to get some name and title here. We're trying to reach the kingdom, the first fruits in the kingdom, the ones that are going to be partakers of that first dominion to rule over these heathen nations. Like the rulership we want. Alright? Not rulership over your so-called black brother to become a manager in some big company or the CEO and look down at your other Israelite folks. Like these niggas in the world do. Like the Jay-Z's. LeBron James. Jay-Z was a damn devil. Alright, devil in this. Even among people, they are devils. Like scripture say among my people are found wicked men. Because these men are used, and he was talking about the media earlier. They are part of his medium, the so-called white man. They use them to influence the blacks to try to come through the way that he has set up.
Yeah.
Join the Illuminati. Wickedness.
Sacrifice. Blood. You know? It says, yeah.
And that fire is coming for you as well.
That's right.
Isaiah 60 and 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Going to be utterly what? Wasted. And we create to waste them. The waster. Which is a term for the nuclear missiles. He created the waster to destroy.
Listen. Nahum 1 and 3. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahweh had his way in the whirlwind.
He will not at all acquit the wicked. As he said in Amos, the first chapter, he shall not go altogether unpunished. Even in Jeremiah, he said it. Alright, you have to go through that punishment. The Lord, as scripture says in Psalms, he's not a power that had pleasure in wickedness. So you're going to put an end to that wickedness, and you're going to go, it's going to be ended by a great bang. The day of doom is the end of this time. When them nuclear missiles fly and hit the earth, hit America, and them chariots come. Go ahead.
And the Lord Yahweh had his way in the whirlwind and in the storm and in the clouds and the dust of his feet. He rebuked the sea and making it dry. He dried up all the rivers. Bashan languished and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languished. The mountains quake at him.
And how are you going to drive this river? He said drive the river. Right? Yeah. When them nuclear missiles hit,
intense.
See, can't.
They're going to get dry with intensity.
Evaporate. Can't. I always like to paint, I don't know, shine a little light on what has been going on in a nuclear reactor. And the size of the lines, or for lack of better words, and the big pumps that has had to be pumping constant water through to cool down a nuclear reactor now. That is just the reactor. That is not the final product where they split the atoms and bring it back together to collide and cause the eruption. So think about the water drying up, you know, all that water going on, it had to be constantly flowing through the reactor. From this big rivers that has had to have by them nuclear reactors and everything to push that water to cool down a reactor. So hey, the Lord ain't playing outside here.
There is heat coming. Now he says within them is the wrath. The wrath of the Heavenly Father. Who may quench it.
Nahum 1 and 5. The mountains quake at him, the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence.
And that could also be what? Metaphoric. Because mountains also used to represent governments and nation. The mountains quake at him. It says in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, they was afraid, but yet does fight. The Lord is about to terrify these nations with that great invasion. The people, man, just looking into the skies and just imagine
what it was.
Their faces ships. Seeing a new coming. Like, you shit yourself, unshit yourself, vomit, all kind of thing.
They go out, they come back in, they go out, they come back in. It says, the mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 8. Was Yahweh Hashem Yahushai displeased against the rivers? Was thy anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thy own horses and thy chariots of salvation.
Chariots of salvation. And this is what we look at today. We zeroed into these chariots of salvation which our Lord is about to come. And that's why from time to time you always see us, they call us stargazers as well. Alright, but we actually looking for the chariots. And the scripture says, when these things begin to come to pass, then look up. For your redemption draweth nigh. Our salvation is going to come from the skies, from upward, alright, on the chariots of salvation, as the scripture says. No, Lord coming out of the sea and all them different heresies that is being taught today, or just floating up in the sky and just there amongst the clouds. No, there are vehicles coming, and these vehicles have cutting capability, laser technology, fire capability, concentrated heat. That's what laser is. Concentrated fire, raw fire. Go ahead.
Back up on that. This is Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 10. It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together. It says the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
And what multitude is that? Fell with violence upon the multitude. Those of them that is going to be gathered at the valley of Jehoshaphat, see, going to pour out his indignation upon them there. Their stink is going to go up. Alright, and mainly the land of America. Because the scripture say in Revelation 21 and verse 18, and thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down.
Right.
So that is the multitude that are going to be brought down violently. Kingdom of Esau, Bozrah, as spoken of in Isaiah 62.
I'll read it before I bring in precept I want to bring. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 1. It says, who is this that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Bozrah?
Why Edom? Because Esau is the end of the world. When God comes, he's going directly at Edom. He ain't wasting no time. And that's what it says in, if you get a read from Obadiah, in Obadiah?
Yeah, Obadiah.
Obadiah 1, and read the last verse, verse 21.
It's Obadiah. First epistle and verse 21, it says, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau.
To judge the mount of Esau. Because when the Lord comes, he's going to gather his elect from the four winds and bring them to have our front row seats to view the destruction of Esau, Edom, and Bozrah. Go ahead.
It says, to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
So when he judges, when the Lord ultimately judges the mount of Esau, and Esau is destroyed, his kingdom is destroyed, America is destroyed, the kingdom going to be the Lord's. Jacob is the beginning of it that fall. So when the Lord comes this time, his eyes or his attention is going to be straight to that land.
The man also bring why he's coming from Esau and Edom, from Bozrah, from Seir. Right? It says Isaiah 34 and verse 7, sorry, and verse 8. For it is the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Yeah, he's coming from, but one of the laws that Esau broke is what? If you steal a man and you be found in captivity, you shall be what? In your hand, you shall be what? Put to death. Right? Who stole a man and his heritage? Esau and Edom. Right? Who broke the brotherly covenant? Esau and Edom. Right? The prophecies that they would what? They will build desolate places. The Bozrah represents the desolate places that they build. Europe is called what? The bottomless pit. Right? Because what? There's no minerals over there. Right? No natural resources. And then they came across in the west. Right? They came across into the further parts of the world where ever
When no man never
any
dwell.
man dwell.
Right? But Jake was dwelling there. Reuben and Gad, the 10 tribes that left, they went up the Americas. Right? All the way up to Canada. All the way up to Alaska. Right? Because Jake was 144. Jake dwelled up there. And where they went and conquer. Yes, sir.
Even when King Solomon was in rule, it had ships that used to be coming back and forth from to the island of America back to Jerusalem.
Because one
Aseret.
The land of Aseret. And how we know that it was coming to America? Because America is the only place you can find Turkey. Right? And Turkey was one of the birds that they brought back for Solomon. That Hiram Abiff. Right? Hiram Abiff was the captain of the Navy of Solomon. Right? He brought back cedars and he brought back other different treasures. But Turkey was one of the birds that he brought back. Turkey is native to what? America. Right? To the north. Understand?
Canaanite men, I get to see
The Stonehenge,
Stonehenge
figures.
like Hamite.
Yeah.
They're not jigs. Because I went on it, I see a Navy, see a Hiram, and you see a Solomon. Say once in 3 years came the Navy of Solomon, came once in 3 years bringing gifts back to Jerusalem. So you had the
Ayana have to go, Ayana have to come back.
Ayana have to go, Ayana have to come back. But the Navy of Hiram remain cutting down all the trees and to prepare so that when the conquerors get and go now. So when there was remaining there, that's where they build all the big head up.
Yeah.
So they not Jake head. They ham. Why they doesn't look like ham. It's just a fucking that big hair kind of thing with the roll up head.
Yeah.
When you see it?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 63, and I had something to add to it. It says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious is in his apparel.
Because the Lord ain't coming back as he came 2,000 years ago. Alright, he's saying he's going to meet you as a man. He's coming glorious in his apparel. He's coming with them chariots. Alright, he's coming as an angelic force. He's coming to play the role of a lamb no more, to be slain. He's coming with the role of a lion, a conqueror, a king. Go ahead.
I can preach that back.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 42 and verse 13. Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy. And you know what? Jealousy is the rage of a man. Right? And again, as I read in Isaiah 34 and 8, for the controversy of what? Zion, he said what? In all their afflictions I was afflicted. Right? He that toucheth thee toucheth the apple of my eye. He saw, the scripture say, if thou art wise, thou wilt consider your latter end. You're going to be destroyed grievously. He saw Edom.
That's right.
Elites. Right? I mean, they set it up, Bill Snakes, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk to look as the richest men in the earth. Right? Before that, I forget this man they used to call, that was heavy into the economy. I forget this man they used to call. Huh? Yeah, Warren Buffett. Used to be called Buffett. The man is not the richest man in the world. The richest men is the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, right? The bankers. We know who you are, right? The Queen of England, their family, right? Cousins, right? But your whole empire going down.
That's right.
Right? This is Isaiah 42 and verse 13. Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like
Jealousy, and just for the simpletons out there, because yesterday at work, Jake, he was mixing up jealousy with envy, because he was saying, how the most I could say I got jealous, God. Look at see that most I had envy. So he tried to relate jealousy with envy. Now jealousy, when a man has jealousy, he has it to something that is his. Like you can have jealousy over your wife. Alright? But from the moment you take that jealousy and you start to be jealous over other things, like someone else's possession, that's covetousness. Covetousness mixed with hatred. That is where envy steps in. Alright, but Moses is going to stop jealousy as what? As a man of war, because what? He's coming back with the controversy of Zion.
Yeah.
These people.
Yeah. And even if the Lord has envy, he has envy because he's the Lord. You know, we can have something and he don't have it, that will make us superior. So you in your small mind can't perceive or understand, computate the ways of the Most High.
Right.
Go ahead.
I got a precept for you.
What this is, don't understand the unboundedness of being a hierarchy.
Omnipotency.
When you enter top of the mountain, you can do as you please.
Gone.
Yeah, and then you have no need for it. So everything is yours.
Yeah.
You understand? Everything belongs to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Everything. Because, as he said in Job 34, if he was to draw call back his spirit, or no flesh would remain. Nothing would remain. It came from him.
Because he said jealousy, and if you go to the precept in Isaiah 34 chapter concerning the controversy against Zion. This is Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 34. It says, for jealousy is the rage of a man.
I would the Lord come back with rage.
For his daughter. That's right. I like it.
Jerusalem was a coming.
Hey, the scripture even describe the elect as a bride.
That's right.
Right? You know, the bride and what the coming together of the bride and the groom is the day of the Lord.
Marriage. A union. The Lord is going to say, come up hither. And they ascended into heaven in a cloud. And scripture also talk about, so shall we ever be with the Lord.
In a chariot. Isaiah 4.
Marriage. What a day of rejoicing that will be.
Right, truly. And that's what it says in one of my favorite precepts in Isaiah, I believe that 25 and verse 9. In that day it shall be said, Lord, this is our power. We have waited for it. We will rejoice and be glad in his salvation.
And look at this take. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 46 and verse 7. It says, who is this that cometh up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers? Egypt riseth up like a flood. What the scripture say in Isaiah 59? You know the enemy coming like a flood.
Even in Psalms 124,
which is the song supposed to.
Even in Psalms 124, it talks about the proud waters. Who is the proud? Esau, modern day Egyptians. Egypt. Read that verse again.
This is Jeremiah chapter 46 and verse 8. It says, Egypt riseth up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he said, I will go up and will cover the earth. I will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof.
And his waters, if I can just add, his waters are moved like the rivers. And what it says in Proverbs 21, the king of the heart of the king, is in the hands of the Most High. As the rivers of water, so he moveth whoever he will.
And if I could just add to what he's saying, who is this coming from Basra? And I said, who will go up to them? And Yahweh said, I going to them. The Lord coming to them.
That's right. That's right.
So I just wanted to touch back on that NB topic, right? Real quick before we go far. It says Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay, for shall the work of him, the potter is Yahweh, for shall the work of Yahweh,
which is the creation, the work of him, everything that we see today, that is created, the sun, the moon, the stars, the peoples, as the work of him. Go ahead.
For shall the work of him that made it, for shall the work of him that made it, he made me. For shall the work say of him that made it, he had made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
And that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say he made, when they teach things like atheism, there's no God.
Or when we teach reincarnation, right? Or when we teach judgment, the Lord will judge. God is all love. God is all love. Understand it, slow it down. Listen to what you yourself coming out of your own mouth. How could he be only love? You have hate, you have envy, you have jealousy, you have pride, you have hurt, you have sadness, you have shame, all these emotions, but he's only love. That don't make sense. That means you have superior qualities than him because you have more. It don't make sense.
The Most High about to prove that he made everything. He exists. He's gonna prove Yahweh. He's gonna prove he exists. That's what he's about to do. Because the scripture says in 2 Ezra 6, I believe it's verse 6, that they were all made by me, and by me also shall they be ended. And even Enoch.
Revelation 22. I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. By me I'm all there.
And even Enoch prophesied, and he said the Lord coming with 10,000 of his saints. And then it goes into the word what to convince them. But when the Lord comes ultimately, that's it. It's going to be clear. The power of the heaven and earth is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai, who is the salvation and deliverer of the chosen people, the Israelites. Point blank period, and he created everything. Everything that we could see today was created by him and for him. Nobody gonna be able to bring the scripture say bring forth a strong reasoning. They ain't gonna be able to produce no cause. They ain't gonna be able to argue that.
That's not a bow.
That is it. Every knee shall bow. The lofty looks of men shall be brought low. All that so-called wisdom that you have, and well, this is what happened in the beginning. Well, a big bang took place, and then we have no evolution where everything man came from fish and all this bullshit.
Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other.
So who's bringing the end? Yahweh.
That's right.
That is the one who's bringing the end. And guess what? He's going to also bring the beginning. Okay, he said Esau is the end of the world, and then Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. And this is what we teach here. As so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, or guess what? They might be even looking like Moab right now. There's a whole mix-up take place. It's the spirit, though. It's the spirit. All right? Wherever Israel is, you are going to be the soon rulers of this earth. Right. Your kingdom is next. All right? No other nation, like scripture says, the kingdom shall not be left to any other people. This is your time to rise up.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I took precept just to add to it, what I brought out. This is Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15. I'll read from 10. It says, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature.
What?
The firstborn of every creature.
And that is why he's known as the only begotten Son of the Father. Because he was the first thing created. Alright, spoken. By the spoken word. That's why he's also known as the word of power. In the beginning was the word. The Most High spoke him into being. Alright? The first created thing. And that is why we have to hallow him. That's why we have to reference him. As it says in the book of Colossians. It pleased the Father, alright, that in him should all fullness dwell.
It says, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
And for him. And they're going to, as Precept just read, they're going to be also ended by him. But when you read in 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 24, it says, what then come at the end, when he shall have put down all rule and delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father. That's what's going to happen. The Lord is going to come and bring an end to this devil's world. And all the dreams and aspirations you people have in this world is going to be crushed. This world is going to pass away. Alright, and you're going to pass away with it. Go ahead.
This month back up, you were saying that day going to be declared. This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, beloved, know are we the sons of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and it do not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
The scripture talks about now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. And that's as the brother was singing the old Christian song, alright, which is to be sung at that time. Alright, the true rejoicing, what a day of rejoicing that shall be. When we see our Lord, when we meet him in the air. And that's what we're striving to be a part of, because the scripture said we do not yet know what we shall be. So we are prisoners of hope.
That's right.
We hope it. And the Lord gave us the formula, he gave us the format. He said if we do these things, we shall never fall. The scripture even talks about to be found of him in peace. They show diligence. They do this work. Abide in your labor. Alright, because to get paid, you have to work. Let us therefore labor to enter into that rest. So that's why we out here. We ain't like your regular niggas, alright? These brothers you're seeing up here, when the camera pan to them and they read a precept or they might give some edification, that is not a normal brother you're watching. Alright, that is men that striving for something worth it. That is men that have been woken up. They're not your regular niggas here. Despite we might be living in the ghettos. Alright, we ain't like them people. As Yahweh Shai told the disciples, you are not of the world. They are of the world. Alright? Even in John, same 1 John, I believe it's chapter 2 though, verse 18. You can just read that if you're still around.
Done, alright.
Go ahead.
This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 18. It says, little children, it is the last time.
Jump down to verse 19.
Alright, come. 1 John chapter 2 verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would not they would no doubt having continued with us.
They have no doubt, and that referring to what men that was once in the street, alright, and they now fell out. They're going back into the world, which proved that they belong there. They were of the world. They were not of us, which that us is the ones that are of the Heavenly Father's election. Alright, that are sincerely striving to be in the kingdom, to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
The book of Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees.
Yeah, there's no glory, there's no throne, right? Before, because when according to Revelation 18, sorry, Job 18, right? You like, read that from me, Job 18 verse 1. Right?
This is the book of Job, chapter 18, verse 1. And it says, then answered Bildad, verse 2. Alright, Job chapter 18, verse 2. How long will it be?
It's 5. The light. Go ahead. 5.
Verse 5. Can. Job chapter 18, verse 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out.
Right, what's that light? Right? The scripture call them what? In Ezekiel 28. Right? The illuminated one. Right?
What, wiser than Daniel?
Right. Right. More wiser than Daniel. Right? Lucifer. Meaning what? That knowledge. But what? The light that they put out is what? Lies. Deception. Right? The light being put out. And that's what they used to establish a kingdom upon the what? Deceit. Right? So they're not going to be on that throne. All the nations know about them today. What they're talking about today with Russia and Ukraine. Right? What they're talking today about the West. Right? The West represents the so-called white man overall. Right? Their mentality. West is opposite to East. And guess what? East, when it was cardinal points, facing North, whatever. East is on the right. West is on the left. So spiritually they're off, they're wrong, they're wicked, right? There's no throne. Go ahead.
It says, but thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Thou shalt no longer be called tender and delicate. Right? Nobody gonna look to America for the American dream. The scripture, the prophecy is that everyone gonna flee back to their own lands. Right? Gonna flee to their own nations. Right? They have no more prosperity to get in the land of Babylon. Or still measures about to hit Babylon. Right? These wars, these little wars are going on. The ships are going to sail. Right? They're already saying locally that what? We get wheat from Ukraine. That was in the news last night. We get wheat to process here in national flour mills from Ukraine. Right? Go ahead.
And if I could just add to what you're saying, Russia and all too is a big producer of gas, because just today me and the brother was watching RT.
That's for Europe.
For Europe.
The Nord Stream pipeline passes through and goes across into Europe. So now all the sanctions that they're hitting upon, hey, Russia can't land the plane. Russia and Belarus are taking on any sanctions, and they can't land the planes and shit. They're going to ban the oil and shit. But Russia okay, you know why? Because it's most high putting their hook back into their drawer, bringing them back into that old USSR spirit. Right? No. I actually was trying to catch it. I was actually walking past on Fox News. The reporter was a female and she was saying that it's Russia turning back into the old USSR spirit. And that was biblical what she said, but she didn't know that was an Edomite. So they have the analysts. The analysts will say these different things because Russia actually building back that empire. It seems as though they're building back that empire. But what? They're being forced because what? The scripture says if a nation be divided against itself, it shall what fall. You have something?
Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 11 says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord had raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon.
When you watch the old ancient map, the Medes go back to what? Parts of Russia. Right? Go ahead.
It says, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh the vengeance of his temple.
Yeah, this is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. And who is the temple of the Lord? The Israelites man.
That's right.
Right? Push into Revelation 21 and 3. The temple of the tabernacle of the Most High was what? With men.
Right? That scripture ain't talking about ancient Babylon. That's a future prophecy. The ancient Babylon. They won't take them down by any means of war.
It means to take them.
Exactly. You understand? That's talking about the Russians that the brother explained. That's talking about the Russians, which the brother one, when we looked up the word Medes, it goes northeast of Persia, I believe. It was northeast Persia. And when you do that, when you look that up, you see what Russia, a landmass. So it's there geographically. When you go into the geographics, it's all broken down. Russia, Russia is the Medes, and the termination of the Lord is for what the Medes to attack Russia, US, America, to destroy Babylon. And like by the face and
why everybody watching that? Everybody want to see what's America's response, right? Besides the fact that they're looking at NATO to come and defend Ukraine, what the analysts saying is that NATO was bluffing that they was hyping them up now. Oh, they do this and do that, and we'll join, let be part of the EU and NATO, and we'll back all it. Right? Besides the fact that they're looking for that, and NATO, what's the American man? The Edomite man, they can't trust them, they're liars, right? So as the woman said, they're shysters. You understand? They pull back on the deal, whatever, and they have them, right now they have them dying. Look how 6 days today would have been the 6th day of fighting, right? The 6th day of fighting, nearly a week, right? On the 6th, probably on the 7th day, or tomorrow is going, probably somebody will step up. You understand? Probably the US will jump out of their skin. Biden talking up in his whole ass yesterday, State of the Union address. You understand? But when America gets into it, when they already step, right? When they step is when all hell will break loose. Because the prophecy is that Babylon be destroyed.
That's
and
right.
America is that Babylon.
I have an article here, but before I read the article, it's like if Russia decide to weaponize Mexico, heavy weapons, America will go to her, they got her, then they'll go on to weaponize Cuba with heavy weapons. They weaponize this an ex-Caribbean country with heavy weapons. But that's what America kept doing for years, because 14 nations that left the USSR, which now in NATO, Czech Republic is one, Hungary is one. All of these nations was in the USSR, Poland, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia. They are now NATO nations. They NATO, but them was in the Soviet Union and America. Them nations surrounding Russia, America keep giving them weapons. Arming. Putin saying it's like Russia want to come now and take Canada and give Canada weapons. America will say, fuck no, you can't give Canada weapons.
You on my doorstep.
You on my doorstep. So that is what Putin say, you can't give Ukraine. You on my doorstep. And that is where the war taking place so far. So these people and them who talking about pray for Ukraine, America aggravate these people to reach where it is. It's a fucking aggravation. You're constantly harassing them. And America won't stand for that. There's no way Russia could go and give Canada weapons in Canada, or Russian weapons in Canada, and Russian troops in Canada, and America just sit down there and watch that. That's going to have a war. It's going to have a war. And it's the same thing happening right now. And it could escalate and reach even further than this, which is what we want.
And we see the signs that escalation, it could happen. Alright, and the escalation going to lead to what? Nuclear destruction, because they're talking about it. I have an article here as well. You read the article already?
Yeah, these are but the nations that was in USSR was joining NATO. 14 nations.
I have an article here as well. It said Putin reacts to pressure from NATO. Nuclear alert. It says in a dramatic escalation of East-West tensions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian nuclear forces put on high alert yesterday in response to what he called aggressive statements by leading North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO, powers, the directive to put Russia's nuclear weapons in an increased state of readiness for launch raised fears that the crisis could boil over into nuclear escalate, to boil over into nuclear warfare. That is where it's heading. Now, as the scripture says, see that he be not trouble, because the end is not yet.
MOTV have to come.
That's right.
But anybody heard the State of the Union, or any of Biden's addresses yesterday? Biden, I think, was basically saying that well, they're not worried about no nuclear war. Yeah, so he's trying to pacify this, he's trying to pacify it. But we know it's the truth to the Spirit. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 41. Sorry. Yeah. That's on 40. As power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, because it was 5 cities destroyed by what? By fire and brimstone. That was rain from the heaven. Those are the elements that are basically going to be formed with the ICBMs.
Right? Sodom, Gomorrah, Adman, Zebon, Zeboim.
Isaiah 50, Jeremiah 50 and verse 40. As power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, said Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Behold, a people shall come from the north, right? That's Russia. A great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Right? There's these other nations that have the missile capabilities. Right? You have Iran, you have India, you have Pakistan, you have China. These are all ICBM bearing nations. Right? You have Koreas. Right? Because what remember Kim Jong-un was beckoning to South Korea. Hey, telling them that hey, we's one people, we's one people, and if the nation will tell them one nation. We's one people, and them is the enemy. Right? Kim Jong-un was saying that just a couple years ago. Right? On Trump leadership. It says, behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Verse 42. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array like a man to the battle against the daughter of Babylon, which is America. Right? Just so. It says then, verse 43, the king of Babylon had heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail.
So when you put in nuclear forces in alert, that fear. This nation was fighting.
Yeah. Everybody was quick, and I said, hey, I said, I could walk about my, let me go and look at some buy my tin food, eh?
If I may say, because they very well know that American nuclear capability, if I'm wrong, is 20,000 something or 40,000. And Russia one is double.
That's what they put in.
They'll
never tell you what they have. They'll never tell you what they have. Like every year they take it in the police and the army and the coast guard, right, and in the prisons. But the police force is only 2,500 people. Come on, who are they trying to fool? Who are they trying to fool? Every year all they have are taken in, right? Every year all they have are taken in. But only have the maximum all they have is what, 6,000? The maximum all they have is only 6,000, but every year they take in.
Yeah, my extrapolating from it is that Russia have more nuclear missiles than America. So, they know if America is a big boy, they have more jets, the Air Force and things, but them have more missiles. So, oh shit, them fellas are them ready. You know, it's kind of like a man come outside with a machete and a man come outside with a samurai sword.
America have
more missiles, no. Russia have more missiles than America.
From 5,000 to 5,000 to 6,000.
But what I point out is that America have like what? 2,000?
Hey, Russia have the missiles to destroy America. Because they have the hypersonic missile.
Right.
When Putin announced it, he you're only 10 years behind. Ha 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 ha, and then any boo boo, I catch it. You basically know what he said. He said only 10 years behind.
God.
So it's all them numbers thing because the technology they have, the hypersonic technology. The two nations that have it is two, both of them are allies, Russia and China. China have hypersonic missiles as well.
To reach up just back here real quick, Baba Bashar. This is the book of Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spades. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Yeah, and even in Joel, right? Because the scripture said they shall fight, they shall fall upon the stones and they shall not be hurt.
None shall hurt them.
None shall hurt them.
Come.
Right. Because the missile defense systems, it's a shoot basically rockets at the missiles to destroy them, detonate them before they get to hit the target. But guess what? The hypersonic evaded all of that shit. They evaded all of that shit. I forget the besides it's over Mark 3, I forget the length of time it will take from Russia to come across from the west coast into America.
I think it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like no time.
15 to 30 minutes. Promise.
So, and even the Poseidon missile, when you look into it, that's the Poseidon missile one that goes underwater.
Coming from the nuclear subs.
So they said that missile, it moves so slow, too slow to be detected. And when it reaches close enough, it speeds up. So that's going to beat your detection system.
Your radar, you know, because you're going to have radar and all these different things.
Like the Most High giving these Russians that wisdom to make sure that prophecy is fulfilled. Babylon is burnt. So just imagine a nuke hitting their nuke. That's a greater explosion.
And that is the Lord's Spirit being upon these instruments, because he say these things is his indignation. And because Brother don't make mention that two countries have it, which is Russia and China. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 7. It says, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Which referring to Russia. And he being a guard unto these other nations, he say, let the weak say I'm strong. So now they're able to say that they are strong because why? Russia had a back. Because the Lord gave Russia the authority to fulfill them prophecies.
This is Isaiah 24:1, and says, behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. It says, jumping to verse 4, it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
You see what the people of the earth, the sun is down. Right. Who can afford to take a vacation for a year, having timeshare, come down to the Caribbean for a whole year on vacation, you know, live the fantasy life, meet a Caribbean boy, island boy, you know, and have a fantasy fling, go back and write a book about it, sing a song, make a movie. Who can afford to do this shit? You want the people of the earth? You saw it,
At their own islands, where they bring little girls and even boys and bugger them, rape them. That's what they do it. Yeah. And they show you the finest of the elites in this series. Squid Games.
Squid Games, yeah, You know what shit? Yeah. They show the elites, they under the mask and shit.
Under the mask.
And the fat stink, you know, mate. Stink, fat stink.
Watch the man and
is a boy you want to know? Is a boy you want to know?
And guess what? You know what the masses were? What? Animals,
yeah.
Peace.
He was the pig.
He was a pig.
I was a pig.
And he was a either mate. Oink.
A ball.
Oink, yeah.
The bishop. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It says, verse 5, Isaiah 24:5 says, the earth also is divided under the inhabitants thereof.
Yeah, that's why you have these franchises, KFC, that used to represent Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I showed out that recipe when back to what the hell is so about 11 herbs and spices. You know? Deep fried chicken. So we the slaves used to have to take the fat and use that for oil, right? We used to have to use the herbs We had it, you know. We were the ones that take everything and spice it up and season it up and, you know, make it taste good. And they're the culture vultures, right? Popeyes, they are the face of Popeyes. They actually have a Eve as the face of Popeyes, right? But yeah, hey, Angostura bitters are worldwide. You can go to Canada and get Angostura bitters. You can go to Europe and get Angostura bitters, right? Guess what? That came from the slaves down here. That came from that recipe is from a slave down here, right here in Trinidad. Right here in Trinidad is a slave.
A jig that help in mind to refine and make it refine this can make it more smooth. We did that. We did that. Jacob. But we the salt of the earth. But you didn't see the Jake name on it, you see Jack Daniel. So they always take the praise, they put themselves in front.
They say they cover the face of the judges. That's how they do it. Culture, that's whatever brothers always bring it out.
Says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
One of these nasty things that they're doing is that they take the inner lining of the pig's intestines, they dehydrating it, grinding it down to a powder, dust, and then sprinkling it over the food. Right? If you're ever eating them potato chips and shit, that's one of the seasons of the potato chips. They say that helps you digest the potato chip. You understand? That's what they say. That helps your stomach digest the potato chips. Right? These different snacks. Right? That the scripture say love not the world. Right? That's what the scripture tells us. If you have to have a cheerful heart, to take heed of your diet and your meat. You understand? You're going to be eating them crap. Right? They try to eat more pure, clean foods. The apostles put us on them green smoothies. That's a good way to get them things, to get them natural minerals and stuff inside their system. Green smoothies, you just make it a habit. It takes 21 days to develop a habit. But you need to have yourself disciplined and stick to it and make it happen. Like I'm making it happen from Republic. Right?
Reason for them sprinkling that pork fat.
To defile Jacob.
Accuse us.
To accuse us and defile Jacob.
Put him, have a cup 2 and 50. Put him and give it his neighbor drink and put it in bottle to him and make him defile and drunk also that him may look on his nakedness. And then it go back to Revelation, the 12th chapter where it say the accuser of our brethren has been cast out. Which accuse them before our power day and night. That's right. That is why he doing that. That is not for no digestion. That is not for you to digest the potato. But how we just eat potato and digest it normal?
Mastication, you chew.
Right.
And then you swallow and digest. With the liquids and what the saliva help it to go down.
Yeah, you break down your food. Yeah, designing saliva break down. What are you talking about? That is a lie. That is Psalm 58. You get a shade from the womb. You are sure as soon as you born. Speaking lies. Also, I'm just finishing verse 6 says, Therefore the curse is over the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. You've got few men. Get into that.
Like Isaiah 24, right?
Yes.
Same chapter, it said the earth is cleaned this out. Because it talk about the earth being defiled. Right? Right? The Most High and see you so filthy with all these pollution that Esau pushing. About homosexuality and then get a clean up.
Hey, fire is a purifying agent.
That's right.
Right? And when that fire hits, that intense hit, what it's going to do is put back all the elements that Esau fucking mine and put in high concentrations in the sky to get the people on the planet sick. To defile the people, to defile the earth, all these diseases, right? Yeah, think about it. If a virus, right? If a virus could have dwelled on a surface, I could have picked up AIDS a long time. Yeah. I could have picked up syphilis and herpes a long time. But them viruses, right? So all I needed to do was wash my hands. And I don't understand how you're getting that unless I touch your rod, right? Come on, rod and be walking loose and touching a counter, whoops, I get it. You understand? Just wash your rod with a ventilator spray and it's good to go. Because that's basically what they're telling you going on, you know. That's how we get it. But what they do, they spraying shit in the air. They spraying these, chemtrails, they spraying these plagues in the air. That's right. So when the missiles hit, it's going to put everything back in its proper order in the earth, you know, the period, like as the periodic table and all that stuff.
And the most high is like you know, to a farmer. Or husbandman, because in second Ezra, the 3rd chapter talking about him planting the world. You understand? So, and the Most High is about ready to plant the kingdom of Israel. So he has to burn up. You see that with farmers, it's better into agricultural work. What they burn the land for?
Slash and refreshing it. That's what they say, slash and burn.
Yeah, all the chemicals and whatnot that might have.
All the germs. Fire that destroy all the soil-borne, not all, but majority of the soil-borne fungus. So it's a fungus
This is the book of Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh shall host, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch."
Right, so go to 1 verse 4. Right, it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That means they're not going to have any wicked seed to hide underneath that table, to run away, to come back to take over and build gallows to hang all Israelites that came on. You understand? That shit ain't going to happen again. Yeah, go, you guys.
But what I was going to say, all the Edomites in America, that land of America, and all the different lands that are destined to be burnt are going to be destroyed. The ones of them that are going to be preserved, they're going to be in bunkers, you know, and the Lord going to take them and bring them as prisoners. And that's what it says in the same Isaiah 24. It moves on from the destruction to East of Edom, becoming prisoners, slaves. But that's where the destruction is coming for to usher in a change of rulership. And that's why we cheer on that day. Cheer on the words.
So like we're going to see them like in the beginning of Django with the chains, coming with the head down, walking in the gang. You understand? If I want to give you the apple I want, I'll never give you a fucking apple. I'll never give you an apple.
The apple with hot oil, what they used to do.
Yeah, Bob for apples, that way you have in the carnivals, of course, yeah, which is like your little fairs, right? They're selling Bob for apples in water. But what you used to do, right, you give the slaves an ultimatum, right? They say, hey, you want your freedom, right? You have a big cauldron of hot oil, and they put the apple in it, and they say if you bob for the apple and the cake, right, you get freedom. But your freedom will come with the price of your face burning off. You understand? You wicked ass heathen.
So then what they do is show you love.
I only want that to live in the kingdom.
A man like that, you can show you love by fucking destroy you love inside you.
That's right. I just imagine it was a crime for a black man to wear shoes. He just had to walk around barefoot. You know, like beasts. Like what they had us. They treated us like beasts. Even at a young age, they wasn't even allowing us to wear pants. You see passing this long little, this big teeth like a nightie. Yeah. And that caused a lot of effeminization of our young men. Going back even in slavery.
And that explains a lot because the spirit of Judah is where naturally, before they was effeminized, Judah wear them big clothes. Judah loved to wear Judah wear them big clothes, especially in the 90s and stuff. You would see that. They had them big jacket, jerseys and whatnot. Their clothes baggy.
One thing about fire too, right, is that I extrapolated the scripture says that the wheat and the corn grow together. When you harvest that come, it is grow together. When you harvest that come, you will separate it, basically. So now when the root first come, when our Bash and Yoshani will come, right, to reap what good from what bad, they're bringing heat in lasers and nuclear missiles. And heat is one, if you're watching literal agriculture, that's a fall flame within. It has destroyed plenty of the unwanted seeds in the ground. So if it is, they know that's extrapolated from that, it's a good thing. It's destroying them, the scripture says we leave them at a root or branch. So that heat taking them out.
Yeah. That definitely goes into the seed too, right? Yeah. After that 1,000 years and they build the kingdom, none of them going to be, none of the Edomites going to remain. They're going to be wrong.
King David say he saw them stretching themselves as a green bay tree. But you know he say he look for them.
Not when
Spreading themselves as a green bay tree. Yeah.
Like I hear sweating.
And that's what it says in Psalms 92 and verse 6, the precept the brother loves to bring out. When you wicked do spring as the grass, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. Because as you mentioned, after the 1,000-year period, it goes into Revelation, the 20th chapter, because that scripture was a prophecy for back then and for even the future. Twofold basically. 1,000 years that they were kept bound when Jake's ruled in Europe, and then the 1,000 years in the kingdom. That is going to be fulfilled. Alright?
In Micah 2 and verse 3 it says, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil.
Do he devise an evil? The Most High, as scripture says, he created the wicked for the day of evil. He created a nation of people as vessels unto dishonor. They were created to be servants. That was said by the prophets Rebecca, the elder.
What about the prophecy with Lazarus?
Lazarus as well.
Dip your hand in the finger. Sorry, dip your finger in the
water. Yeah.
But the Lord devised evil. Just like how it was not for Jacob to drink of the cup. But what the Lord said, he shall surely drink of it.
That's right. Surely. Even the dregs thereof.
Even the dregs thereof.
But
it says, from which he shall not remove your necks.
From which you shall not remove your necks. So in time as prophesied by Isaac to Esau, he said it will come to pass when you go have the dominion. You break his yoke from off your neck. That's when they came out of the Caucasus Mountain, the Renaissance period, and they began to rule again in Europe. You understand? That's them getting that yoke off of their neck. You understand? But this time, when they get home for that 1,000-year period, it is that they're going to be destroyed forever. Alright, it's a 1,000 years captivity onward to their destruction, their annihilation. No coming out and ruling again or being a part of the kingdom chain like the dream Martin Luther King had, blacks and whites holding hands. That will never happen.
That's right. That's right.
Never. The Edomites not going to share in our kingdom.
That's right.
It says,
they can share in their kingdom, they can share in our kingdom.
That's right.
Is that balance? So that Martin Luther King is still, I feel it.
That demon come on here and do that. I feel it wasn't even real.
No, that was the scriptures. Let me just read the scriptures for Mama. I think Martin Luther. Yeah. They have the Lutheran church. Right? The Lutheran church. I think it was part of that too, if I'm not mistaken. But that was the scripture. They just take the scriptures and say, I dream a dream. And he butchered it. Yeah, well, you know it go. This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
That sounds like revenge to me. You understand? Christians can't seem to grasp that. So what are you trying to tell me? There's a whole revenge story? Yes, it's written in the scriptures. They did us hurt. They're going to receive hurt in the kingdom to come. The kingdom to come ain't no fairy tale place where everybody just going to be floating around. They're going to have a ruling class people. In the kingdom to come, there's a ruling class people that's going to be right on the earth, and there's going to be a people that's going to be servants, subjects, subordinates, the lesser.
But it says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down. They shall be as though they had not been. It says, but upon...
You know, like when you was younger, your parents bringing the sene or the purge, whatever purge it was, and they watching them make I know the most I can be there on the throne and making sure they drink that. You understand? The nation of Israel is who we're going to use. The scripture speaks of in Ezekiel, I believe it's the 26th chapter. He's going to bring vengeance upon Edom by the hand of his people Israel. Right. So Israel is like the Most High. It's like your parents. The Most High is your father, and you have the whipping stick. The whipping stick can be Israel. That a stick on Esau.
But Esau was the stick against us. There was the sword. Right? It was men. It says, Obadiah verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession.
Why is the scripture saying upon Mount Zion will be deliverance? And then in this world, 2023, people teaching the #1 religion in the world, deliverance for everybody. But the scripture ain't say that.
It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall...
And what is holiness?
There
shall be holiness.
Separateness.
Separation. A great gulf fix. There shall be holiness.
Same thing as it was in the beginning, so shall it be.
That's right.
The Lord separated the nations.
That's right.
Right? Not because we are greater, but because He had loved us.
That's right.
You understand? It says,
purpose of election might stand.
God.
Who He chose.
Of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
They're going to possess their possessions. All the different lands that they claim, you understand, and the lands that they stole. Even Mount Seir, Esau ain't gonna have no possession. No. That's gonna belong to us. We gonna own the earth. The scripture says, and ask of me, I'll give you the heathens, which was speaking to Yahweh. Psalms 2. But the elect is gonna be joint heirs with him. Alright, so what the honor and glory and the inheritance Yahweh is about to receive is also for his elect. Alright? It says that what? He will give him the heathens for his possession and the uttermost parts of the earth for his inheritance.
See that Esau going on the land right there, but see that
right there. Give some of our voices down.
I will. It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
And that is that hell. When Jacob and Joseph become that flame, the two kingdoms join together as one, flame on when Esau, bringing hell on it. That is that hell that is coming. Alright, not a place under the earth burning, that mystical damn place where they used to fear monger.
And if I could just add to what you're saying, Baba Kusha, with Lazarus when he was in Abraham's bosom, right? They talk about the rich man. You know, when he went to hell, when you go into that word hell, it was one of the definition in the strong shows you come to the bottom, you're to the least. You know, because the rich man said what? He said he see Abraham coming and far off, so was Abraham in hell? You know?
We're describing their condition of torment in captivity. That's what I was going into.
But it says, and the house of Esau for stubble.
See who's going to be burned up? Esau. That's the main nation that going to be burned. Esau is going to be for stubble. But
if you go to search up stubble,
and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau.
Shall kindle in them.
Shall kindle in them.
So you're going to kindle in them. Don't burn them up. That heat is going to be on the nation of Israel is going to bring heat to Edom until they what? Be destroyed. But there shall be no more what? Remaining of the house of Esau.
Some Baba Kusha, I can finish?
What a day that shall be.
If I could just bring these up for precept of the coming board, Baba Kusha. This is Psalms 58. Oh, select. Go ahead.
It says, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
And one of the things we're going to do to them are described in the scriptures. We're going to take their young ones and that. That's Psalm 137. Happy shall not be that dashed his little ones against even the kids. They're going to feel it burn. Prepare slaughter, Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter even his children for the iniquities of their fathers.
This says in Sirach 42, I believe. We say the children shall complain of our ungodly father.
I just want to
you go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 7. And at the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks amongst the stubble.
Stubble, chop. Strong definition from H7197, straw as dry. Dry straw, like hay. Just stubble, just easily flammable, ignited. Easily
Oh, right.
There's, you know, these for all the simple Israelites and them that preventing the Lord from raining. And he say bring them before me. Them that would not that I rain, bring them before me and see them, because Jakes could not pass in that too. Because it have a lot of Jakes saying, pray for this, pray for the world to get better, let me go back to real life, you know, let me live in love with everybody. I don't understand in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 1. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2.
Chapter 1 verse 6.
2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 5 and 6 says which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of Yahweh Shemeshai, that ye may be counted worthy of the kingdom of power, which ye also suffer, seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh Shemeshai, to recompense tribulation unto them that trouble you. So that is the main thing. May I continue? Yeah. That's the main thing. Because most I say he is a just God, and if you want to render, when you go in the court and somebody commit a crime, if the judge say, well, nah, let me set him off, the judge won't be the judge, because it have a fixed penalty right down for the crime that you commit. And the most I say, right, if a man defile a land by blood, by the same blood that it shed, if anybody could get a fine numbers.
Leviticus numbers.
You know that, Baba Kasha.
Go ahead.
Book of Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that sheddeth it.
And that is the words of the Heavenly Father. Old and new, which is the same thing. So the Most I say is a righteous thing to recompense tribulation unto them that trouble. The blood have to run. Revelation chapter 12. Right? Bring it out.
Like it just says, Esau actually came back in his luck. We understand through reincarnation, Esau was king. Right? And who was he first to defile the land? King. It said blood defiling land.
Why is the voice of your brothers
Blood cried unto me.
A Christian bring them that.
John.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. It's Hebrews 9 and 22. Almost all things are by the law, which you just read, purged with blood, and without the shedding of blood is no remission.
That's why the blood had for us to run. When the priests, right, when Israel go off, you had to spill the blood to get remission. That is how you see it, and nothing more valuable than blood. And the Isaiah tell you, Father, that is why when you come and say, use this, that the garment dipped in blood, because that is it. That is the atonement. That is the price you have to pay for putting your hands on the apple of the Lord's eye.
You know how long I was holding that precept? You know how long I was holding that precept?
Yeah. The apple of the Lord's eye?
Yeah, you can.
Alright,
You
want to bring it out still?
No,
go ahead, and then we will bring on the Revelation.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. It says, woe to him that buildeth a tongue with blood and establishes a city by iniquity.
Who's that? Esau built the tongue over the Manhattan, DC. America was built over the blood of so-called black slaves.
Even I was in the washroom and I was thinking about what Esau was doing, and I was saying the mortar what they use, guys, had to put mortar to rest on the brick. I said the mortar they use is actually blood, sweat and tears by millions and millions of Israelites to build that.
And them buildings still remain as monuments. That's why the Lord gonna make America a monument for all those who disobey Yahweh Shai, and who rebellious against Yahweh Shai, and who proud against Yahweh Shai.
And that is why he say in Jeremiah 49 chapter, he say he swore that Bosra going to be a desolation to add to the monument. He swear that.
This is Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the earth with cities.
When you spill, right, blood, it have a vibes. Just follow it, have a energy behind it. That's why Solomon took, although Solomon was killing for a righteous cause, David, Salakia. I slip in word, but not in thought. David was killing righteously, but still it have vibes for you could get under the temple. So Solomon had also do it. That is why, right? We didn't say, let me tell you the vibration come out of what all they do to the children of the Most High. Not Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch, yes, in one of the chapters he said that it have a phenomenon that has happened with the horse, and the same thing will happen to the slaves. If they get to touch, which is this, the scriptures, or they make a mistake, or they feel we would have stayed dumb, we would not learn how to read eventually and start to understand. We didn't say if the touch any ancient or artifact that belonging unto them, for lack of better exact words we write, it will have a phenomenon. The phenomenon is this awakening what happening all over the earth.
So like it is a scripture. Right? And the smell of water, it will bud, it will spring or bud and bring forth. You understand? I think it's in Job. Yeah. The tree had the smell of water, so if they get a touch or hear they didn't want me to speak the language. Yeah. They didn't want me to speak the Hebrew. They didn't want us to speak the Hebrew. What's your name? Waps. Toby. No. Sorry, what's your name? Waps. I can't say no. Toby. What's your name? Waps. They didn't want us to speak the language. Because we could send messages and code in the language.
And that is Sirach. The prologue of Sirach. For things uttered in another tongue.
I'm more forced in there. We sang songs also, and we hide messages in the song. You understand? So we sang songs in Hebrew, and we hid messages in the song. That's how I think it went with Harriet Tubman on the Underground Railroad. You understand? That's how they was able to give messages for slaves to get away to the south.
The Revelation?
Book of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Must be killed with the sword.
Must be killed with the sword. Go on, read on.
There is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Them who have patience are waiting on the coming of the Lord. That is where you want. You want to see that them that kill with the sword be killed back, and that is justice. That is proper judgment. What do we? They have to be done back unto them. If a man kill your son, you might want to play righteous and say, well, I wouldn't want your son to get killed back, but I can't knock him down in front of you, you're going to feel sweet. You're going and feel good. Because you know why? He killed my son. So I want to see his son get killed back.
Yeah, no, and that's what you had within Israel, where you kind of killed by accident, right? Because you talk about like when he's in the axe and you shoot the axe and the head fly off and kill, right? You know, for the justice, you had like a safe zone. That's a refuge, right? Because you're looking for that blood back, and that's how eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's in the law.
Talk about the revenge of blood. Like the person coming to
yeah. Even when they talk about a son, they say you leave an avenger. Right? If you have a son and they train him up, right, you leave an avenger. You die and go, you leave an avenger. He can come and avenge the death of his father. If he kill his father or his family, you want that one man. And you see that in Mortal Kombat, the latest Mortal Kombat movie. Right?
Yeah, but
kill us Sub-Zero kill out the whole family.
Right?
Raiden come and hide. Scorpion as a baby, he hide him and then he take him and bring him up some other place. But Scorpion exists. He was the avenger for the family.
If you watch Godfather and all, you will see how them Latinos, them just kill. Yeah, you know what they watch Godfather? Yeah, the Italians. Yeah, now they kill.
Which was Sicilians, which was Jake.
Yeah, they leave no children alive because they know he's going to get big to come to kill me.
Yeah.
That is what happened in the recent Black Western. What was the name of it?
Oh,
he left back the little boy and he drew the cross on his head so that he could know.
But that was his brother.
Yeah, that was his brother. Yeah.
Hey,
that was his brother. That his father. He do that. That was his father. He killed. The brother, he carved the cross with the brother head. You understand? And even that the day when the brother come to revenge him, he knew who he was, but the brother didn't know it was him. And then he revealed unto him that I'm your brother.
He still kill him.
Yeah, but he still kill him.
That happened to him. Like the man did that to his
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Right. He carved the cross into his baby brother's head. But that was his brother by his father. Because his father, Idris Elba, came and killed out his father. He left his father left Idris Elba and his family and was abusing them. And he left them. Right? Idris Elba come and find him. I can't remember his name in the show. He come and find him with a surrogate family and a second family. So he killed out that family. Except which was it? He killed his father. Right. He killed his father's new wife. And he didn't kill that boy, which is his brother. He didn't have a thing in his head. So he actually created that monster. He created his brother to be a monster.
And
I can't remember all the characters, but I watched it. It was a good movie.
That was Jakes.
Yeah.
Go back to Jakes.
Buffalo Soldiers was
Jakes. You know what was Yapa in it? The Edomite who was ruling with the guy you're speaking about. Yeah. When he went for him and he take off the hat in the church and he say, "You remember me?"
Yeah.
He started beg. He tried to pull the gun. Jake was just too quick, and Jake hit him with bam bam bam.
Yeah.
And you know Jake in the nice talk, yeah. He tell the pastor of the church, he say, carry that man for the reward. And so why you don't carry him? Yeah, because I'm worth more than him.
More than him.
Ezekiel 35 and verse 5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return.
And all this pertaining to so-called white people. So-called white man. All of that we read there pertaining to you. You know, with the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, prominent families meeting. They are the DuPonts, they are the Getty images on like them.
You have DuPont's responsible for planes and something with planes. I think they were the chemtrails too.
All of them come together. That's what we talking about, coming all the way down. The last Edomite who catching the ass in the States. Or anywhere in the world. All of that pertaining to you.
How about you don't mind working back one thing?
See?
As a laborer. You don't mind me. You understand? How about you don't mind where I'm working? He ride a skateboard since he come down here.
What?
He just ride it. Yeah.
Let them suffer.
You understand? You can't pity them.
It says, and thy city shall not return, and he shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine.
That represents Judah and Israel. The northern and the southern kingdom. They say they belong to them. On the chapter, the sign right. They say these two nations is my own. Right? Because why? You have all of us in your possession. Unlike other captivities in the past, like the Babylonian, Medo-Persian, they only had Judah in their possession.
the image that they took down the other day.
Right.
With
Theodore Roosevelt.
and Jake on the right and on the left. I see servants up on horses. The princes up servants on the left.
For that as well. In Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33, thus said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. They are mine.
Why we got again? Just like Laban, he didn't want Jacob our father to leave for one purpose, because he was prosperous because Jacob. As he said, somebody they don't want to go. If all of us was them, because they just talk that shit about why you don't go back to Africa. If all of us come together a day and say, you know what?
Let me go back to Africa.
Let me go. Fuck Babylon, let me go. Why they will hire his National Guard, every airport shut down, everything. Can leave.
Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 15, the rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor.
A city is not without the people. A city is not without the people.
The strong city.
Where you call it? A ghost town. When you spread the people that was left, the things that they put the energy into. When you put your spirit into a tree, you're weeding out all the grass, you're nurturing it, right? You're bending it this way, bending it that way. You know, you're watering it every day. You're purging it, you're plucking off the dry. That tree, when you leave, what remains of that tree is your spirit. Basically, that's what Esau trying to do with what? Artificial intelligence, right? Taking your algorithm and saying that's you, immortalized. That's what they're doing, right? Well, the ghost city is when the spirits leave, when the people leave, and the spirit is left behind. You only get tumbleweed, dust. You understand? And monuments. There's an instrument. Or he could just be the musician.
Continuing, it says, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord Yahweh was there. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger, according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known amongst them when I have judged thee.
Not saying you'll make yourself known amongst us when he judged you.
That's right.
That's what he coming back for.
Judge him out, so.
He coming back to judge you.
That's right.
And that is when we go and understand this is Yahweh Ba'ashem.
Power this Bible.
Power this word.
This is the Al-Shadia.
Yeah.
Convincing. Terrible demon like power.
That's right. That is the law.
Yeah. Well, that is the Psalms 9 and 16. He shall be known by the judgments which he executes.
I said, world, the entire world, everybody will know. That's right. That's the power. That's right. Right.
It says, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume.
I want to say, the laid desolate, the Most High lead them, for we to eat them up. That is a blasphemy.
There's one that's saying that their own shepherds pity them not.
Yeah, Zechariah 11 and 5. 11 and 5 and 6.
And hold themselves what? Not guilty. Zechariah chapter 11. Yeah, and verse 5. Verse 4. Thus saith Yahweh my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. You remember Trump? Trump come out of the bunker and say, what? When they stormed Washington, and saying what? When he had it was 4th of July speech, he said we're not going to let them take down the statues. It is our God-given right. You understand? It's their right. In them eyes, they're right, because they know that they are the sword of the Most High, and they forever holding us guilty. When the Lord is merciful, the Lord Yahweh died to redeem us, and that is mercy right there. Right? We redeemed of the Lord, of our Creator. We redeemed. But this devil holding us guilty. Right? It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Right? It says, for I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, said Yahweh. But lo, I will deliver the men, everyone, into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king, and they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will deliver them.
Continuing on Ezekiel 35 and verse 13, says, thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea. Not some. These two clowns who coming out, who come out yesterday, who Esau could be saved, they say all Idumea. All. As the brother was reading in Obadiah just now.
So when the earth rejoices, thou shalt be what? Desolate?
Yeah.
When everybody at peace, and you know at rest, that is Isaiah the 14th chapter. Thou shalt be desolate.
This is Jeremiah 50 verse 7. It says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers. You see? So they were not guilty.
Looking at themselves in the mirror and saying we're not guilty for putting all this hell on them. Them deserve that. They sinned against the Most High, they deserve that. But that is a lie. We are the Most High's chosen people.
That's right.
Scripture says in Deuteronomy 2nd chapter and the 3rd verse, Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase, all that touch him shall offend. Anybody that touch you will not offend.
The book of Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Therefore thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies, that my house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem.
Most I say return to us mercies. We are the ones who are no other heathen nation could receive mercy from the Most. We do it like you want to expect the beginning of the elect 144,000 all the way down to the men, women and children who say after the back. They're going to receive mercy.
And then he said, the verse up said that he was a little displeased.
So the Most High, when the Most High was displeased, what he did? He caused the nation, mainly Esau, to whip us. I say, oh Syrian, the rod of thy anger in my hand is my indignation, basically. He used Esau to whip us. As the psalmist said, deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword. But then the Most High said, like, it's like you overdo it. Yeah, you went overboard. And that's what the scripture talk about, when I believe you all read it a little earlier, when the iniquity was ceased, basically. When the calamity. They just read. So you went overboard. But
something back here real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 6. It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laden thy yoke.
That's right. That's slavery right there. In a nutshell, you could go upon Google images and type up slavery and see how the sofa wiper was dealing with jigs. At that time, you had little babies, right? 3 years old, 4 years old, out in the field picking cotton. out in the field gathering sugar cane over. You have old men in the freaking 80s, 85, 86 going out there to gather the sugar cane to pick the cotton or do whatever other thing you had them do. Very heavily laid your yoke on ancient, very heavily. It didn't go a little piece and say, you know what? And even on now, we're still doing it. Or you can have people retiring at 65.
You want to read they talk about when they were raised in the 70s?
You understand?
The Lord say what? The Lord say what? That the short time that we will live up to what? 3 score and 10 to 70. So basically work until it's dead.
Work until it's dead.
Wow.
I keep some mentality because the nigga don't like none of it. He don't like we.
Yeah, part of the curse though. Deuteronomy 28 and 50, a nation of fierce countenance. Deuteronomy 28 and 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
And that was the nation you was talking about 70 80 the Romans. That is them, but they revive and they come back around what 1620 and they went into the interiors of Western Africa. Who they and Ghana watch Israelites as they go because they know who they went for. They know that they went for no Hamas. There's a understanding that is so hard that hey, they are in Western Africa. But when you watch on a map, you have when we scatter from Israel, right? 78. Plenty of we went into north because you have Israel here, Africa right here, right? Egypt and thing right here. Then when they come from right there on the map, they go a little further down, it's west. They went west. They settle on the west. Ghana, not Zimbabwe, Ghana, Ivory Coast, all them places. They settle right there. From north and they settle west. Some settle north, some settle west. Some even went further down south, right? Esau came mainly because you know if you deal with Hamites, you might go see them in the west. You don't need the identity. But
there's Nahum chapter 3 and verse 9. Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was infinite. Foot and Lubim were thy helpers, yet was she carried away, she went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets, and they cast lots for honorable men, and all the great men were bound in chains.
See who the helpers were? Fucking Hamites. They helped, and they brought, they came and they took us up from Western Africa, majority of them, and bring me over here, swift as the eagle fly, just like it's saying Deuteronomy, which I was really fulfilled in 78. But it happened again because Rome crashed and they came back to life. So it happened again. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. They didn't know English. Just like we didn't know Latin back then. They didn't know English. And they brought us over here and taught us to serve them as God.
And the eagle sell it out. Because that is America's national bird, the bald eagle.
Which shows that it's a fourth beast. The revamp also goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. This is Daniel chapter 7 verse 7. It says, and after this I saw in the night vision, behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns.
Like ancient road. And then it's saying midst of that we see a sword. Right? See a little one. Saying in midst of them one, see another little America. That's right. Which is Rome revived. Right? And Rome revived.
The book of 2 Ezra chapter 11 and verse 39. Art art not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts whom I have made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
The compass of the earth is wrong, by the way.
That's right. With wicked oppression, with much wicked oppression.
Not flat and circular, but wrong.
That's right, spherical. And that's right.
You had wrong, and that things inside it. So the only most I make it wrong with things inside. Like your head, you know? Like the sun. Like the sun or the moon. It's so hard to understand, like
It says, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Yeah. As ancient group and now modern group. Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 15 to verse 16. It says, why criest thou for thine afflictions? Thy sorrow is incurable. For the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
We looking to get the hell about that here. That's the prophet's mind. You don't give a fuck about Ukraine. You don't care about Russia. You don't care about Venezuela, China,
we don't care about no damn election.
You don't care about no election. We want the prophecies to come to pass.
Hey, you know we good when we say we don't care about fucking the woman.
Exactly.
You know we good when we say we don't care about Eve, and we don't care about Eve.
And we don't care about fucking. We don't give a shit about the black one. We don't care about the black one. Right?
Eve evil.
Eve evil. All we care about is God's word, brotherhood, and elect.
That's right.
Right? That's what we care about.
It's just for us to stay strong. You know, in these times are in. Right? Now is the time, as it said in Nahum, the 2nd chapter, make the new nation strong. Fortify thy strength mightily. Don't focus on all the conflicts that are happening right now and be too caught up in that. What you're supposed to be focused on is getting yourself right.
That's right.
Alright, getting yourself ready to go through the perils that is to come. As Ezra said, woe is me who would deliver me in those days. You got to zero in to your deliverance. Alright, and to do so, to receive deliverance, you got to have that right mind. And that way we Lord come back to see who are on the fringes. Right. Alright? Like when the Lord coming for, the Lord says, when he cometh, shall he find what? Faith on the earth. Now it's time to feed your faith. Alright, don't doubt. Now it's not time to doubt. You're seeing the prophecies popping off. And increase your faith. That is it.
And with that, we give all praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash.
Double on us, apostles and elders, who surely do rule well and salutation to men and brethren in his work and sincerity and in truth. Aquatium, that listen and, you know, in order and in right spirits. Hey, shalom to the elect.
Shalom to the elect.
Abad Babal, see, right, to this hell. That's right. Shalom.